Hi everyone and welcome back to a little bit of Warframe. Today we are running more Netracells and I have to say I love them. I actually fell in love with them. I think they are great. Now I was testing different frames. Here you can see my current Frost build, which is just a augmented build for his 4, where all I want to do is strip the enemy's armor as well as getting Overguard for myself and my squad. Now, yes, I do run those Netracells solo. It doesn't matter that much in my experience. I've tried both, running in a random squad, running solo. We managed the same times. It was a marginal difference, actually nothing to compare and like be or feel bad about. If it takes me 1 minute longer or 30 seconds longer to complete the Netracell solo, I am absolutely fine with this. And I'm using Frost. I mean, can I go more off meta? Although with his rework he actually did get a lot better, right? But yeah, so my thought process was, hey, I do have the Torrid Incarnate, which turns this mission into a breeze, and you don't have to focus too much on killing that much. I genuinely think you need more, or you need to be concerned and think more about your defensive strategy, which with Frost and Overguard, I thought I'd give it a shot. I, for the record, do not recommend to do this with Frost, and you saw in the little build clip that I hopefully remembered to put in the top right corner. I'm using Armored Agility on this build to patch up Frost's slower sprint speed. I would love to use a parkour mod as well, or even parkour shards, but I don't have space. I use the shards. I think, if I remember correctly, I have 2 Tau Forged Blue shards on there to get more energy maximum, some duration, and 2 yellow cast speed shards, so I don't have to use natural talent, right? But other than that, there's so much more things that you could do with this that I just didn't do, right? This is just like one of the builds that I was able to do with the forma or the polarities that I have put on Frost Prime, which I've done that a long time ago, and I would not do the same polarities nowadays, which is okay, but yeah, so the basic gist or the basic idea of Frost in the Netracell is stand inside your snow globe, cast your 4 to strip enemies' armor if needed or if wanted, but actually just build up Overguard if you're 4, have some fun, be safe-ish, I have to say. We don't generate as much Overguard as I was expecting, and yeah, that left me like more than one time in a spot where I was like, oh, I need to actually be careful and actually need to focus up. There we go, you can see here, just my Overguard broke, I instantly cast my 4 to get a little bit Overguard back, but it's only like 1200, and that is just not a number that feels comfortable. We are using Precision Intensify though, just to test it out. I really wanted to do a build with that mod since it dropped for me last time I did run some Netracells, and I was like, do you know what, let's just see how it goes. Now, keep in mind the Necromechs have a weak point on their back, which actually is a massive damage increase, so I highly recommend you do go for the weak point. And yeah, for Sentinel I'm running Nautilus with Cordon. As you saw there, the enemies just got like sucked into a ball, and that makes it really easy to kill them and deal with them. And for the energy economy, all I have is Styanax and Energize, which normally is definitely enough. I wasn't too focused in this run, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I needed to get some Styanax in, and yeah, I mean, other than that, Overguard really is king in Netracells. I honestly think it is the best way to go if you're running solo, so that means you have options, right? There are other frames that do generate Overguard. I will show a second run after this one, just so you can see one of the options. I am gonna talk about the other one that I haven't tested yet, but just thinking about it, I think it will be a good pick, and I will test it next week, and I will come back to you next week with Kullervo, which I think will be making mincemeat of this mission with his 2 to generate Overguard, with his 3 where he can kill the whole room, and basically just a... maybe I go for just a heavy attack Nikana with Corrosive or an Azafane or something along these lines, just a very decent heavy attack weapon with guaranteed slash procs. So that could be something that can work really, really well. And we can still take a primary and a secondary with us. That can get through this content quite easily. Weapon-wise, as I said, the turret is obviously just melting through here, but if you don't have the turret in Karnin, I will work on a couple of weapons for next week that I think could be fun and good in this environment, and I really think with the new radiation dual stat mods where you get radiation and reload speed, for example, or radiation and multi-shot, or just those mods, the 60% radiation is actually quite helpful, and I think if we mix around our loadouts to have like one corrosive radiation weapon, right, where we only have a little bit of radiation damage, we will take another weapon with a good amount of radiation damage, especially for those guys here, for the Netracells. That's gonna be helpful there. And yeah, just try to get to a loadout where I feel like, yeah, you don't have to push through to the best weapons in the game, or the Incarnon weapons in general. I'll try to stay away from those as much as I can, but the turret is just too much fun lately, so yeah. Okay, different frames to try out besides the Overguard frames. It's actually... I think if you're running in a squad and you take the debuff that you can handle with ease, you can pretty much take every single frame in this. You can even change your focus pool around to have the revive one if you don't have unbound the passives. I think there is potential for a lot of stuff that can work in here. Sure, the enemies are quite high level and it can take a little bit of time to get used to this stuff. But I feel like as a newer player, once you reach this point in the game, you should have enough stuff lying around that will allow you to do this quite comfortably, right? So we are at the end here, and let's see what we get. Yeah, I did check the time from time to time. Like, I was like, I want to just have those runs done in like 9 to 10 minutes. Feels okay to invest an hour per week to get 5 shots at Archon charts, right? I'm so glad they are no longer in the drop pool for the Cull missions, because I definitely stopped doing those way before I should have, basically, so I missed out on a lot on Archon charts, which is a-okay. That's a-okay, right? We have a good new farm for them here, and I'm working on getting my rep up in this syndicate, which it's just something I haven't done because I wasn't looking forward to just level up yet another syndicate, right? But yeah, I will work on that. I actually did get the segment for the Helminth where I can combine shards, and there we go, we got the Tau yellow drop. Awesome. There we go, we arrived at the second run. The second run I'll be doing with Styanax, and you can absolutely use Styanax's 4 to DPS through the whole mission. I just haven't done it in this one, because I mainly wanted to have the, oh, I think this is where I use Precision Intensify, not on the... No, this build shouldn't be. Yeah, I got it switched around in my head, sorry. But this one I definitely remember to put in the build. I will make sure to take a quick glance at the Frost build and make sure that that's in there as well. Yeah, good. Right, Styanax's build, honestly, it hasn't changed too much from what I have done initially when it came out, except obviously the augment is in there, which will generate good amounts of Overguard for us, especially if we do end up in a room with a lot of enemies. We can have like actually good Overguard generation with a single cast, right? And it's just amazing. It's honestly just amazing. Also, this Styanax no forma build, absolutely achievable. If you don't have certain mods, you can adjust. Make sure you get as much strength out of the mods you have that you can, and yeah, make sure you have a little bit of duration so your maximum of javelins doesn't go down too much. Other than that, what I would like to have in Styanax is parkour velocity shards to speed up those missions, because you do a lot of running, right? Which is, I also did a Netracell with Wukong, by the way, just because I thought, you know what, the traversal will be very easy, and if you die, you have the passive of Wukong, right? Where you die, but you actually don't. You just continue. And it was definitely a little bit more stressful in that regard. And if you just want to do chill runs, I would highly recommend going with a overshield generating Warframe, or have someone else that generates overshield for you, and you can take like a DPS frame, for example, and be the one that kills stuff. And yeah, but for solo runs, honestly, if you're going with Overguard, you will have such a... It's just chill, right? You don't have to worry about dying, which can be an issue. You don't have to think about too much what you're doing. You can literally just zone out a little bit and focus on your weapons and kill enemies and glance at your Overguard and, oh, it's getting a low. Let's recast my ability that generates Overguard for me and be safe again. Also, one of the huge benefits of Overguard is the status immunity. There you can see we have 100% armor strip on our Styanax build as well, which you reach with 200% strength, so definitely want to reach that. If you can't reach that, go for like the 82% armor strip with corrosive protection to get to 100%, which will just be an armor strip and not a defense strip for 100%. But I mean, you don't really need the armor strip. Like, those slash procs from his 4 are actually really good. And yeah, you could prime the enemies with viral procs from another source, let's say a Kuvan Nukor or an Epitaph. Prime those up, throw out your 4, generate Overguard, leave huge slash procs, and just have fun, right? Just have fun, just go through these missions. You're done in an hour, under an hour. You're done for a week before you go into the deep Archimedean stuff, which I still need to unlock. As I said, I am working on the standing for the Syndicate at the moment. So yeah, once that is done, I can finally go and try out the basically hard mode for this. Yeah, just have a good time. Now, another frame that just sprang into my mind is actually Rhino. Yeah, actually a really decent Warframe for this. You have Overguard with Rhino skin, right? You have his roar, obviously, to boost your damage output, so honestly, it could be something, especially for newer players, to take a look at and come up with a budget build and see how it holds up. Cool, I made a note of that. So yeah, next week will be interesting, I guess, because I will do one more pass on the Netracells, just to run through and test some other stuff. As I said, like, definitely Rhino needs to go on there, or different weapons need to be tested, and yeah, just like combo setups and stuff like that. I have to say, Dante was absolutely amazing at this content, and if you farm Dante first, hey, this is actually a really decent spot to use him. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how far people are in this content. Honestly, I don't know. Our clan has been reduced again, and I don't know where these guys are sitting at the moment regarding to the Syndicate here, to this content in general. How many of them are finished with it, how many are not. I did meet up with one of the guys to farm Dante, basically to help him out with the farm after I was done with it, but as I said, I like Disruption. I mentioned this in the last video, so I was like, yeah, I'll tag along and play some Disruption with you. That sounds like fun. So that's what we're doing as well. Now, one more thing to think about is with frames that don't have Overguard, and let's say you are a player that hasn't played for, I don't know how many, was it 600? No, was it 300 days for premature footed? That is a mod that you can use if you don't have Overguard, right, to not get knocked down. But yeah, I mean, it's just whenever I do post a build, I try to stay away from premature footed because I know it is like you have to be playing a good while to get it. And yeah, I try to make my builds somewhat accessible, even if I don't actively aim for a 0 for my build, right? I do think though I might have to get a second set of the Umbral mods and just level them to rank 5, I think it is, right? That you get them now. Just to see what I can do with that. Because I think once you have those mods, there's actually, like, nothing speaks against using them on level 5. They should, if my math is correct, they are actually either at least on par, if not actually better than the regular mods. And yeah, there we go. You saw the Overguard break there, but we do have such a high amount of shields as well. Thank you, Styanax, and thanks to Spree, and right, so yeah, you are quite safe. When the Overguard breaks, you have a little bit of a safe period as well, so yeah, it is just very, very cool. One thing I will note, adaptation doesn't work on Overguard. Keep that in mind. Do not waste a mod slot on adaptation. You can go for rolling guard if you really want to. That can help you in the oh shit moments. But yeah, we are coming to the end of this second run. I wasn't quite as lucky this time regarding shards, but at least I got a melee adapter out of it, which is quite fun as well. Definitely something I need to take a closer look into is Tennokai as well. But yeah, this is it for today. Let's see what we get out of this. As I said, it is the melee adapter, but yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and as always, take care. Bye.